Hey guys, Jim here with Creative Play and Podcast Network, and here we are again in August. It is now hashtag RPGaDay again for its 8th year. God, it's been so long. Again, we're joining in with all the other tabletop gamers out there to get creative and use the prompts now for RPGaDay 2021 to inspire you guys to all write, vlog, blog, draw cool pictures. This year they're asking for whatever you do. So we are going to go ahead and start out with the next day. All right, guys, here we go.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, welcome back to hashtag RPGaDay 2021. It is August the 14th. Have you been safe today? Because that's the word of the day is safety.
That's the word of the year. In the age of pandemic, safety first.
In the age of the pandemic, the safety person doesn't have to go to the hospital and get broke for the rest of their life. Yes. Which, by the way, please everybody be safe out there. Even if you're gaming socially, make sure you're being safe.
Yes.
As we have a cat being unsafe in the room right now as he's jumping off a ledge.
Well,
so, Kelly, are you going to go with safety or are you going to roll the die?
I rolled the die and it came up fun.
So you're throwing safety to the wind like a dice.
Well, I just, I like to roll it just to see what comes up because it's fun. I love to roll dice. It's fun. I mean, and RPGs, that's pretty much the main reason why anybody does it, because it's fun.
Yep, we do it for the fun factor.
Exactly. So, yay, fun. The fundamentals of gaming.
Fundamentals. So just remember, I always like to throw it out there that not everyone's word definition of fun is the same. So as a GM, as a storyteller, MC, whichever title you want to throw out there, make sure you have conversations with your players in and out of game to find out what they consider fun, because there are so many different types of players out there. And some people like the super frustrating, only one right answer kind of mission things, and other people detest that, and it's not their cup of fun. So know your audience.
That's a good point.
Because, fun means different things to different people.
Yeah, because it's not fun when you're stuck into something that you very much dislike.
Yes. And as a safety for fun, make sure you keep open communication and talk to your players in game and out of game, just for the safety's sake.
And another thing for safety that ties in with fun, because we don't want to ruin people's fun, but the X card.
Yes, I was actually going to go
sort of like a safety thing. You can employ an X card in your game, and basically, if you're unfamiliar with what an X card is you have this card with an X on the table, or you could just do it verbally, I suppose. But if you're gaming and somebody says something that might be, say, make another player uncomfortable, trigger that, basically that they want to, nope, stop, let's sort of retcon that out and proceed in a different direction type of thing. You can do that in a safe, accepting environment, just say X card on that, and okay, then we'll just change the tactic, or, or let's not use that word, please.
Yeah,
Type
that's
of
a
thing.
perfect example of it. I mean, one that I like to throw out there is a friend of ours, Ben, writer of World of Do and a few other good game books. He has a phobia against medical things, medical procedures, the type of things that you get really gory about. He admits he breaks out into sweats when he hears that stuff. So anytime you get so close to saying that, player or GM can just totally point at the X card and say, X card. No explanation needed, no having to get in depth. Screen swipe, fade to dark, pop into the next screen. I mean, it's used in the movies all the time. If you look at the old-timey movies when they couldn't show certain things and had to censor it out, they would just show like a romantic scene and the camera fades to a shoe getting thrown off the bed or a stocking landing on the chair, so that way it just narratively moves on. I've even seen GMs use the X card in the middle of players, sidebarring and chatting. He just pointed to the X card and said, X card, and everybody realized, oh shit, yeah, we lost track of game. So X card is a good safety so that way there's no hurt feelers at the table.
Yep, let's keep the fun happening for everybody.
And especially when you're doing like open table gaming and stuff, I'm a fan of the X card because if I don't know my audience, hearkening back to previous days, that if I don't know what they think or in their process is, I could say something offensive, which I am totally offensive often, or I can be insensitive, which is totally different in the fact of, you might glaze over someone's comment or feelings and not realize it, Just going back to think, you're not thinking from their point of view that you could have just like disregarded someone completely by accident. And you definitely don't want anybody at the table feeling like that.
Yeah, and having just an X card available there, boom, no questions asked, it can just, keep the fun happening.
And also for safety, I'll throw out there that GMs and players alike, never be shy to say, hey guys, let's take 15 minutes. That's one that I personally am really bad about, is I'll be like pushing myself to get to a stopping point when it's really, I should have like a half hour said, hey guys, let's take 15 so I can get something to eat or something to drink, or, just to get away from the game table.
Or bio break.
Make sure that you're taking that time for recovery. I mean, a lot of GMs will do that. We'll push ourselves till we can get to a story momentum point. And when totally taking a 15-minute break would have totally refreshed us, revitalized us, and had us push even harder. Or, as we've seen in other games, where we go ridiculously late to finish up the storyline rather than saying, hey guys, we're just going to call it for the night.
Yeah. Well, and players will do it too, because you don't want to like stop the momentum. It's like it could be really, things are just jiving, and even though you had a hard cutoff, you let it go past because it's just things were really vibing well, or it was that momentum. So, but yeah, sometimes you have to call it in the.
I totally feel called out and may have to X-card that.
You're the editor. Do what you like.
And again, I will reiterate, I think we said something about it earlier this week, but make sure for safety that your gaming table is a safe place. If somebody says something offensive, bring it to their attention in a respectful way, Or if someone needs to have a conversation, it's better to praise in public, punish in private,
Yeah.
But just make sure if a conversation needs to be had, have the conversation. So that way, everyone feels comfortable at the table.
Yeah, don't let it go too long either, because then it's kind of weird to bring it up,
Yeah, it can feel kind of douchey bringing it up way later, Or if you don't say anything, you're inviting the behavior to happen again. You're basically accepting the behavior.
Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, as a woman, sometimes it's hard to broach certain subjects because, they're not often received well. I mean, it's getting better, but it can be, but trying you feel comfortable enough, you should be able to go to your gym and say, hey, even in private or something, this is kind of making me uncomfortable. Even if you don't want to say it out loud, you can, or in front of the group itself. You should hopefully feel safe enough to speak to your GM about what is making you uncomfortable. And then hopefully you guys can work out a way to, fix it.
Yep, that is one of the things as the game master that is on your shoulders. That everyone looks at you as the judge of the table. That some things are your responsibility to bring out, and even if it's something as simple as group conversation, you throw out the, hey guys, just a heads up, we want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. It could be nobody's fault, but we just want to make sure that the situation doesn't repeat itself.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be names because we've all done something once upon a time, but just list a situation, say, I want everyone to feel comfortable. And you can totally throw it out there as the GM that it's on you. It's like many managers will say to their employees, you can tell them it's by me. It's not the person, it's the person that's higher up in authority, which the GMs kind of are.
True. In the food chain, you kind of have to be HR.
That's kind of what you do, yeah, as a GM.
I mean, hopefully, you're lucky enough that you don't run into any of these types of issues. So that's great. But if you do, you do have to feel safe enough to at least discuss it privately with the GM, to hopefully resolve it. Because, I mean, it would be unfortunate if you're not having any fun because of the situation and then you basically just give up.
And nobody wants someone to walk away from the game table forever, because I've heard too many sad stories of that happening, and it's just not cool.
Yeah, not when it could have been dealt with, or
So in honor of August the 14th, good safety prevents limits to fun and stopping the momentum. See how I used all 4 words there?
Yeah, that was good.
Alrighty, guys, that's probably a good place to wrap it up so we don't go safety crazy, but always be safety conscious.
Safety first, wear your goggles.
Safety first, always wear your goggles.
Of course, now your mask.
and dice sharing is no longer a thing like it used to be. Now players have a reason for giving you dirty looks for touching their dice. Just gonna put that out there. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for listening, and talk to you tomorrow or should I say, we'll supplement your fun tomorrow. Supplement's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.